We put those grains right in there. There we go. Hey there, Vero 311, former Marine infantryman, Revolutionary War reenactor, lifelong JV athlete, amateur history enthusiast. Today I'm taking a look at this. This is a Veteran Arms Model 1768 Charleville. These run you about $800 online. This was made in India and imported into the United States. These India-made guns are like Middlesex, military heritage, and Veteran Arms. This video is for you if you're interested in picking up one of these. I'm just going to be brutally honest in my experience with it. I've already done a part 1 of this video in which I compare this to an original American French Infantry Musket, which would be the proper name, and how different it is. And I've actually just taken it shooting, and I'll be playing the footage of how the problems I'm having with this thing. So let's take a shot. Flash in the pan. So my problems are I'm shooting 1F black powder, and I'm not able to get that powder to go through the touch hole on a reliable amount of time to set off the powder that is in the bottom of that barrel. So I've actually went and picked up some 2F powder, which I don't have a lot of. I'm going to be shooting that. So let's see if we can just get this thing to shoot. There we go. So let's kind of go through my process right now, because usually I spend all the time to make my cartridges for this thing, shooting 100 grains of 1F powder and a 64 caliber ball. How this should work, I won't be able to do that, is that you actually pull out my pre-made cartridge. It's got a 64 caliber ball and the powder inside this. I would prime the pan, I'd close the pan, I'd cast about, might as well just shoot it all through the, might as well shoot 110 grains through this thing. So cast about, pull out your rammer, and you're gonna put that all the way down to the breech. And I should, with all my other guns, the Moroku, the Pedersoli, the originals, I'm able to use 1F powder to get this thing to fire, but this thing's touch hole is so small, I'm having to use, like I said, this 2F powder to get this thing to go. So, again, these guns come up for auction. Well, they come up every once in a while when Veteran Arms gets them out. I am just having the worst luck with this gun today. Be right back. We're gonna swap out the flint. One more time. There we go. At least we hit something. So we're gonna hit the touch hole with my pick and pan, or my pick, because I've been having a lot of failure for the powder to go through that touch hole to set the gun off. All right, we got it back in place. So let's go full cock, take the hammer stall off. Hitting our steel target at least reliably. There you go. So a little bit about the quick history of the French infantry muskets. These guns would have been pretty prominent at the end of the American Revolutionary War in the hands of Continental soldiers. These were brought over from France starting in 1776, but really in 1777, 1778, 1779. These are 69 caliber smoothbore flintlock muskets, and they are based off of the system of 1766. How America got to have this gun is France was still pretty, they were pretty upset about losing the French and Indian War, the 7 Years' War. And when they heard that the English were having some rebellious colonies, they decided to covertly, then overtly support the American cause. So they started sending over tens of thousands of these muskets they had in their storage. And the good thing about them is that they actually cost about $5 to import to the United States, where at the time it costs about $12 to make the guns here in the States. So for basically you could get 2-for-1 deal. And Benjamin Franklin said if we only get half of the guns that we ordered, it would be a good deal. These guns would go on through the American Revolution and end up in the national armories. Americans decide to base their first musket made at a national armory called the Charleville on these, so they're basically almost a direct copy. There are some little things different. If you want to know more about that, I have a couple Flintlock Friday episodes about the original French Infantry Musket and the original Charleville. So some of the awesome things about this is it has this barrel bands, which you can slide off to help take the barrel off the stock to help properly clean the gun. You don't have to deal with the pin system. I've talked about that before. But let's take a shot at about 50 yards. So yeah, that is the French Infantry Musket. So that's the history of what this Veteran Arms gun is based on. And now let's kind of wrap it up and do my final impressions of the Veteran Arms Model 1768. And let's take another shot. So as long as you use 2F powder for the gun, it will go off. I don't worry about safety. Again, Ethan from 11 Bang Bang set one of these off with, I think it was like 1,300 grains of powder. So you don't really have to worry about safety for these guns. You hear them referred to as the Bombay pipe bombs. I don't think that's really an issue for you. Safety-wise, they're fine. It's just the quality for $800. Maybe I'm just in a bad mood because I'm so muggy. All right, let's come back over here. Let's put some more powder, 2F powder. I have found that I have to aim low. That seems to be the spot. So yeah, this is the review of the Veteran Arms Model 1768. If you see these things come up and you want to purchase one, I hope you watch this video so to know what you're getting. I'm going to give the pros of this are it's $800, which is about 30 to 40% cheaper. Usually the Pedersoli guns run you about $1,300, $1,400, and Pedersoli at the moment is not making French infantry muskets or the Charlevilles. You have to buy them as a kit. So if you want a French infantry musket, the Indian guns are basically the only place you can go to buy them, unless you go on an online auction or you buy one off a friend or a website or something like that. So let's go over the negatives. I'm just going to start off and say my biggest negative with this gun is it feels like it's 90% done. Like there's some extra finishing they could put into it to make it a much better firelock, a much more reliable firelock. Especially if we look at this, I put it to half cock. Look how loose the cock is on this flintlock. I don't have this with any other of my firelocks. My Moroku is about 30, 40 years old, and it's very snug. I mean, I don't think it takes much to tighten that up, but still. Another problem I see is this hammer doesn't go forward far enough. It's kind of limits your range of how to load the powder in there into the pan. The stock is just too heavy. I don't like the teak stock. And then another problem I've had is the fittings on this thing. I've had to use, here you can probably see a little bit right there. I've had to use a mallet to get these barrel bands off. And then obviously the upper barrel band, this should be fluted out instead of just a perfect circle. It is nice that it has a brass front sight post. The Pedersoli doesn't have that. But yeah, in my personal opinion, again, take it or leave it, I would not, if it was up to me, I'm glad I purchased it to know what I'm getting. I want you to know what you would be getting if you're going to spend the $800, because these guns are not always online, and you have to, I got an email notification when it came up. It did ship quickly. You know, $800 is $800. It could, I would just expect something a little bit more. Yeah, my future plans for this gun is I'm going to start filing it down and seeing if I can basically kind of copy what Ethan from 11 Bang Bang did, making a much lighter gun. I have no problems with the safety. I don't worry about the gun blowing up in my face. That's no problems for me. It's just at the end of the day, for $800, I would just expect a higher quality gun. Somebody did leave a question about the stock and the wood, and if once you've handled like a walnut stock from an original or Pedersoli reproduction, these teak stocks, they chip, they're heavy, and they're just not worth it in my opinion. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you can make your own decision off of that. If you disagree with me, leave a comment down below. I'm just kind of a little bit irritated that I wasn't able to shoot 1F through this when I can shoot that through all my other guns. But until next time, Take care, like, comment, subscribe. See ya.